All right, NBA round 2, game 3. Let's get into it. First one, Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks. These two teams, don't really like each other. PJ Tucker and Kevin Durant were kind of going at it. But the Milwaukee Bucks took game 3. This is the first game they won of the series. Pretty low scoring game, 86 to 83. Nets did not play super well. Only 11 points in the first quarter for them. They were outscored 30 to 11 at the end of the first. They did make it pretty interesting though, as the Bucks were pretty struggling a lot in the second quarter. They only scored 15, while the Nets scored 31. So they cut that deficit down, and it was close all the way through. Kevin Durant had 30 points. However, Kyrie Irving had 22. Obviously, no James Harden, which definitely hurt them. 16 for Bruce Brown, so they were kind of shorthanded. Blake Griffin had 5 points, which, if he had more, they would have won probably. For Milwaukee, good game for Giannis Antetokounmpo, 33 points and 14 rebounds, but he wasn't even the highest scorer. That went to Chris Middleton with 35 points and 15 rebounds. Great game for him. So yeah, the Bucks take Game 3, 1 and 2 for them, 2 and 1 for the Nets, and we should see an interesting end to this series in the next couple of games. The next one is the 76ers and the Hawks. So the 76ers take the lead in this series after tying it up last game, 127 to 111 in Game 3. Great game from Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, 22 and 27 respectively, 18 for Ben Simmons, 12 for Seth Curry. Korkmaz had 14 points, 12 for Dwight Howard coming off the bench. And they really needed to show that they are the better team. Obviously, the Hawks stunned everyone in Game 1, but it was, definitely important for them to win this. For the Hawks, they had a good game from Trae Young. He had 28 points and 23 for Collins, but it wasn't enough. Bogdan Bogdanovic, who also has been playing well, he had 19 points, but like I said, wasn't quite enough. They lost by 16, 127 to 111, and they kind of did not play good in the third quarter, which kind of hurt them the rest of the way. Now, the next game, it's a very one-sided series. The Suns take a 3-0 lead over the Denver Nuggets, and I believe no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the NBA. So not looking good for Denver. They do have the MVP, but they're not getting much help. He had 32 points. Monte Morris had 21, but besides that, no one really came close to that in terms of scoring for Denver. The Suns had a great game from Chris Paul and Devin Booker, 27 for Paul, 28 for Booker. They're really showing that they want to win this. Chris Paul has never been up 3-0 in a series, and he's been in the playoffs a lot, so he's very happy. 10 points for DeAndre Ayton, their center, 11 for Mikal Bridges, 14 for Jay Crowder, and like I said, very one-sided series. I mean, I think most people think the Suns are going to win. I think, I definitely agree, but I think the Nuggets are going to be trying to fight to win at least one game, the next one. But the Suns take a 3-0 lead, and they won 116 to 102. They played really good in every quarter. They weren't losing at any point in this game besides the 3-2 start to the game. Now, the next one is another interesting game. The LA Clippers beat the Jazz 132 to 106, and that's a very big margin of victory, especially considering that the Jazz are the 1 seed and the Clippers, aren't. This was Game 3. Utah still leads 2-1, but the Clippers won at home, and this was an important game for them to win. Obviously, didn't want to go in a 3-0 hole, just like the Denver series, so really important win for the Clippers. 34 points for Kawhi Leonard. He's been great all series. 31 for Paul George. 17 for Batum. 17 for Reggie Jackson. And they just played great. The Jazz, they got a lot of talent, but I think, I don't think anyone really, maybe some people did, but I didn't expect this to be a sweep, which it won't be now. 12 for Gobert. 9 for Bojan Bogdanovic. And, another reason why they were losing as the starting players weren't scoring as much. However, Donovan Mitchell had 30 points. Ingles had 19, 14 for Jordan Clarkson. But their bench players also didn't do as well. Some of these guys were in there for like 10 minutes and didn't even score a single bucket. So those were all NBA Game 3s of Round 2. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this. Series are getting interesting. And see you in the next one.